Hello and welcome to this Amitsoft video on creating a cell shader using a post-process material. This video will expand upon the methods shown in the Epic livestream tutorial. The link to this can be seen in the description below. Here is an overview of the final result of this shader. As you can see, you will be able to have outline edges and two shades of coloring. It will also be covering creating an instance that will give you control of how the shading is applied and the types of lines such as the color of the outline and how far the shading goes. It will also cover outlining the normal lines as seen here and creating interesting effects on this tree and on these barrels. It will also cover how to get a similar type of effect working on mobile and the limitations that mobile currently has, such as the lack of being able to work with the normal lines and inability to get the lighting information from the scene using the standard method. I will now cover the limitations of using post-process to achieve this type of effect. Using this method, you can see that the lines don't quite meet the ground, and this is mostly due to the depth masking that is used. This can also be seen on these barrels, as the lines don't quite have the outline around the edges when faced up against other objects. This is a rather minor limitation. While I do have a version that resolves this, the total cost of the shader was a bit high for my liking, so I chose to have it remain to keep the instruction count down. There are limitations to mobile, such as not having access to certain scene texture nodes that are essential to cell shading, like the diffuse color. To do cell shading, you need to know how the scene is lit. To do this, you get the post-process input and divide it by the diffuse, which gives you the lighting information as seen here. As you can see, when connected up with mobile stats enabled, it shows an error. Here is how my mobile alternative looks. As you can see, it's not quite as vivid or good looking as the PC version, but it still gets the job done. There are better ways of doing this, but for now, this is the simplest that I've got. Another limitation to mobile is you don't get access to the world normal scene texture. When I hook this up to the emissive color, you can see the error that it is not available in the mobile shader models. Another issue is having the ability to finally control how the lines are rendered per object. Because this is a post-process object, it applies to the entire scene, so you can't do anything per object. Here I am controlling a parameter in the instance that controls the fall off of the line. You need to get a good value for this, however there can still be cases where it might not look quite right. As you can see here, when I change the value, unwanted lines can appear, or lines that you want will disappear. Finding the right balance can be difficult. Here is another instance showing how the lines disappear against other objects the closer they are to another mesh. As I change the fall-off value, you can see lines appear and disappear. Some of these are unwanted, however. In the next video, I will cover setting up a post-process material and creating an instance, and how to set up a post-process volume. Subscribe to receive updates on future videos.